up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are looking at the top 5 edge defenders for the Detroit Lions to target in this year's draft. So let's get this thing started. Guys, I apologize, I'm so late on a video today. Look, I've been researching the heck out of these edge rushers, and I finally came up with my top 5. Now, number 5 is not necessarily my top 5, like I would probably put someone else in there. However, I've wanted to go with like a sleeper late round pick that we could go after. That's just a little bit different than, what we're really talking about the whole time. So I thought I would mix it up and do that, have the 5th one. So it's really my top 4 and a 5th sleeper, but I thought that'd be a fun way to mix it up. So we'll be talking about those guys. Again, make sure you guys go check out my gaming channel, DoseOfDion Gaming. The link is in the description, or you guys can just look it up. I have some gaming content, so if you want some more DoseOfDion, definitely go over there. But here we're sticking with the Lions content, so I appreciate all of you guys that are coming back. Let me switch to my pages and let's just get this thing started. Let's start this thing off from top to bottom, my top edge defender to, the 5th. And we're going to go that way because I think if I go the other way, you're going to actually hear the surprises first. I'd rather you just know, because you already know who's going to be number 1. So I'd rather go that way and then just work my way down. So number 1 is Josh Uche, the edge defender out of Michigan. This is kind of an obvious one. Josh Uche is probably the best. Nah, see, I got y'all. Y'all thought for a second. I had to keep it going a little bit. Y'all thought, no, it's not Josh Uche. Sorry, Josh Uche. I like Michigan, but it's not Josh Uche. It's Chase Young. I don't like Ohio State. Chase Young's just, Chase Young is that guy that's easily going to be number 1 when I go to my big board. When I do a big board post free agency, it's Chase Young. Like before the draft, I'm going to do a big board. Unless we add some crazy edge rusher, it's Chase Young. Chase Young is just not normal. The numbers, the production, the athletic ability, it's just not right. It just doesn't look right. This dude is crazy. He's just way above everybody else on this list. And I'm not even an Ohio State fan, and I'm saying this. This guy is on a different level. Okay, he was known as the best prospect. The best, I quote, the best prospect that Pro Football Focus has ever graded, all right, since they started doing the NFL draft players. The best prospect, and I believe it's over 6 years now that they started doing this, that they've been doing this. The best prospect, that's pretty high praise. He's also the best pass rusher in PFF history. I mean, I don't know what else to say there. I really don't know what else I need to say. I feel like I could just move on. I'll talk about some numbers, but he just ain't right, all right? Chase Young, last season, by Pro Football Focus, had 18 sacks. By Pro Sports Reference, he had 16.5. Take whichever one you want. And then last season, either 10.5 to 11 sacks, and that was in 2018. So, again, the numbers are very, very good. And one thing that I like about him is, yes, he has the athletic ability and the production. Some players only have one or the other. All right, you look at some players that go to a small school, they're just like, oh, yeah, he doesn't look like he's, the technique's wrong, fundamentals aren't great, everything's just a little off. But he has such great production. It's like, ooh, yeah, but okay, which one do we want? And then there's some other players that play at big schools like Alabama, and they're like, wow, this player looks really, really good, like Caleb Chasen. It just, maybe he doesn't have the production. Maybe that's because of injuries, or maybe that's because we just can't figure out why. He just can't get production. I don't know what's going on there. So that's kind of concerning, right? You always take a little bit of risk there. And then some players just have crazy injuries, which really mess up their career, which stinks. Chase Young has no injuries, knock on a lot of wood, okay? Just everybody start knocking on wood right now, especially if you take him. And Chase Young at the same time has both of the other two. He has production and the skill set to be a great edge rusher and an edge defender. And that's why he comes in number 1. Because not only was he great in college, he's going to be great in the NFL. They believe that he will be a Pro Bowler. It's just a matter of time of when that happens. There's not a lot to say here, okay? 552 snaps, which he played outside the tackle, which I think is fine. I think he can do a couple of different things. We usually have about 3 guys on the D line. That's usually the max. Sometimes 2, usually 3. I think him, Trey Flowers, and Danny Shelton would be your 3 down. That would just be incredible. I think you could also playing outside the tackle, kind of standing up like a edge rusher, edge defender, linebacker type of role. I think you could try that and put someone else on the D line, like a bigger body, because at times we did put Ashawn on the outside of the D line. So I thought I'd just point that out. I think he could stand up because he does have that skill set. And a lot of games where you'll look at him and you'll see, if you just look statistically, like I did, and I'm looking at it, right? I'm pulling out my microscope, and I'm like, okay, hold up. That's not a microscope. Anyways, that's a telescope, and I'm seeing it. I'm like, okay, 0 sacks. What the heck happened? You got to watch the games. If you watch some of those games, you will see that a lot of times the offense was so prepared. They would get the ball out super quickly. They would go away from him. They'd run directly at him, trying to, go against what he does the worst, basically, which actually isn't that bad after looking at the numbers. That's what they try to do, okay? They do a lot of things. Like Northwestern, perfect example. A lot of times the quarterback will literally just roll away from Chase Young, like every single play. Every single play is like, roll away from Chase Young. Why? Because he has that much impact on the game. And if you put that with Trey Flowers, you're going to be rolling right into Trey Flowers, and that's not a good thing. He's something else. 27.2% pass rush win rate. 27%, which is incredible. That's like 1 out of every 4 times. I'll talk about some other edge rushers to put it into put it into context and you'll see how great that really is. 77.5 grade against the run, which actually is above average. Pretty dang good. 77.5 against the run. Didn't do it tons. I mean, it was definitely like his worst trait, I would say. But again, it wasn't that bad where it's like, yeah, he can't be on the field on any other downs because he is just such a liability. It's not like that. And he was graded a 95.9 on the third down. So we got to get a guy that can get you off the field on third down. It's Chase Young. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to keep it simple. Chase Young's at number 1, and rightfully so. Now let's hop at number 2, where you have AJ Epinesa, another Big Ten player. And I don't know who you were expecting to get here. Who do you think was going to be here? I don't know. Maybe you thought Eater. Maybe you thought Julian Okwara. Maybe you thought Romeo Okwara. Romeo Okwara, stop it. I don't know who you thought was going to be here, but it's AJ Epinesa. Now, the thing with AJ Epinesa is I feel like he doesn't have that insane twitchiness, athletic ability that's so quick off the ball that's like, oh, I'm going to get to the back, I'm going to outrun everybody. Doesn't have that, which is a little bit concerning. However, he does have that extreme, powerful strength that allows him to get back to the quarterback. So he's not the most exciting and flashy player, but he does get to the quarterback. And again, the thing with him is you look at production. And what I'm a little bit concerned about with some other players, you see crazy production, but they went to a small school where they had like barely any competition, and he just dominated. AJ Epinesa played in the Big Ten, just like Chase Young did. There's a lot of good offensive linemen. Pretty much every team has good offensive linemen at some spot. Good tackles. Every team has good offensive linemen coming out. I mean, Michigan has like 4 offensive linemen coming out. Ohio State has multiple linemen coming out. Just across the board, offensive linemen are coming out of the Big Ten teams, and they do it really well. Tristan Wirfs, who we would probably win against a lot in practice. AJ Epinesa had a lot of practice against very good players, and the production is off the charts. So I really can't put him any lower. In 669 snaps, which he played outside the tackle, he also played 54 snaps over the tackle, so I think he has a tad versatility there. He is 6'5" and weighing 275, so he could be a guy that we do put on, the deep down lineman, which I think would work perfectly fine. I don't see the crazy athleticism ability, but I do see elite physical strengths, which kind of sets him apart. He was graded an 87.8 in pass rush, which again is above average, 76.4 against the run, above average, a 78.7 on third downs, above average, a 17.5% pass rush win rate, which again, we saw Chase Young's was 27.2, his was 17.5. That shows you how great Chase Young really is, but again, that's still a great percentage. I mean, that's a lot of times to get back to the quarterback. I think that's like, 1 out of every 6 times, a little bit above that, and a 6.6% on run stop percentage, which again is about a point ahead of Chase Young. So a little bit better than Chase Young, which is above average. So Chase Young wasn't awful, but again, he's a little bit better at that. He's not Chase Young, doesn't have that crazy athletic ability. I don't know if he'll translate as well, but the production is there against good talent. He has to come in at number 2. We need a guy to get the quarterback, and production really don't lie with AJ Epinesa. That's why he comes in at 2. Now let's hop into 3, round off the top 3, and this is Zach Bond. Changing it up a little bit. We looked at guys that can get a lot of pressure at the quarterback. Now we're going with Zach Bond, who's just a little bit different of style. Now he still is listed as an edge defender, so I'm putting him here. But he doesn't play like the other guys. Like, he can get a lot of pressure, but he can do multiple things, but he's not great at one thing. But the ability to do multiple things and play different positions, I think he'd be an off-ball linebacker for the Lions, which would add a lot of competition, obviously, to an already deep linebacker class. But again, he could try to play edge rusher. The size is so concerning. He is only 6'2", which isn't that bad because you'll see some other guys that are only 6'2". But the problem is he only weighs 238 pounds. Now, he could try to bulk up, but I think, you keep him like he is. He can do multiple different things. He's versatile, and I think that's great. He can cover very well. He's the best coverage edge defender that we have on this list. He was actually graded, I believe, in his last 2 seasons over an 80, which is very good at his position. 6th highest pass rush rate, which again, he can get pressure to the quarterback. So I thought I would just point that out just to let you guys know that he can get to the quarterback. He just doesn't have that size that some people are concerned about, but his ability to do different things, and in Matt Patricia's defense where linebackers are asked to play inside, outside, down, just multiple different ways, Zach Bond I feel like would be a really good fit. Again, good competition in the Big Ten once again. He had 13 sacks in 2019, so there are still, some good stats there. 28 pressures, and in 741 snaps, he was graded an 89.7 overall. He was compared to Joe Schobert. I think that's a good comparison. We know Joe Schobert can get pressure, he can play coverage, he can get tackles. So I think that's exactly what Zach Bond is. He's a guy that can do multiple different things and compete for that linebacker spot. But I think he's listed as an edge because he can play that way because of all the sacks. So we could try him there if we need him to. But I think with just the ability to do different things, I think it's a perfect spot. Not most exciting for a guy that's just simply getting great pressure, but he does multiple things, and that's why he's so exciting to me. 91 against the run, a 77.3 in coverage, which is well above average, 20.7% forced incompletion percentage, which is very good. And in 664 snaps, he played outside the tackle. He's going to do multiple different things. He can play different spots. He can cover. He's got versatility. He comes in at number 3. Now, hopping in number 4, everybody make their prediction. All right, Julian Okwara is out there. Yetur Gross-Matos is out there. Curtis Weaver is out there. Romeo Okwara. I don't know why I would say Romeo Okwara. I already said Julian Okwara. There's a lot of options here. Who is coming here? Curtis Weaver. I'm going with Curtis Weaver. Yeah, Here, let me talk about the other guys first. So, Romeo Okwara. If you're on Romeo Okwara's side, personally, I don't like Romeo Okwara as much as Curtis Weaver, never really have. Notre Dame, you would think they play a lot more competition. They really don't. Notre Dame really doesn't play anybody. They play a couple teams a year, but not much competition. Romeo Okwara doesn't grade out very well either. Doesn't have insane production. However, I think he does have that skill set that could translate pretty well. So, again, NFL and college, they don't translate exactly. Sometimes they flip-flop. Sometimes they say the same. I don't know. But again, I think he has the ability to be really good. He could be a very good edge rusher, and I wouldn't be mad if we took him. I just like Curtis Weaver a little bit more. And then Yetur Gross-Matos, a lot of inconsistencies I see. Kind of awkward when he goes to the quarterback, but not that. It's more the fact that I didn't ever see him, be the man. I didn't feel like he was the man of any game, and again, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He did play in the Big Ten, and because of that, it's kind of hard against a lot of these, players. But again, if you want to put Yetur here, I think that's fair. I think you could definitely put Yetur here. I went with Curtis Weaver to kind of mix it up. I think we've went all Big Ten players, so let's mix it up a little bit with the guy that went to Boise State. 6'2", 265, definitely has some more size there than Zach Bond does. He's a pure edge rusher as well, and when you hear these numbers, you're going to be shocked. Keep in mind, he doesn't play as much competition, which is concerning, but the production is so good. It's almost like you kind of have to just go with it because look at this. As a redshirt freshman in 177 passing snaps, he came up with double-digit sacks, 11 sacks. In 177 snaps, you're telling me this guy had double-digit sacks? First of all, that's already insane. That's already crazy. So you're telling me limited amount of opportunities, crazy sacks. So I think, Boise State was like, oh, snap, we got to get this guy more playing time. And in 2018, he won over 30% of his pass rush snaps. 31.1%. Now, that's walk-off worthy. I'm not going to, because I do feel like he did play at Boise State, but that is insane. It's higher than Chase Young's. I'm going to say Chase Young's still better because he played at Ohio State, and, he played better talent. But that's still crazy. That's still very crazy. We need guys that get back to the quarterback. Double-digit sacks for every single year that he was in college. The production is just off of the charts. A 92.3 in pass rush, 81.8 in run stopping, 89.4 in third downs, 22.9 pass rush win percentage over the course of his years. And I just think the production is so great. I had to go with Curtis Weaver, but I think Gross-Matos could be here. I went with Curtis Weaver to mix it up. Now let's hop into my final one, which is kind of the sleeper. This is someone that you're definitely not going to expect. Definitely a little bit different than all the players that we've looked at. I thought it would be a fun way to do it. Gross-Matos would probably be here if I just went regular, but I'm going to go with Khalil Davis. 6'1", 306 pounds. You're probably like, who? Khalil Davis, isn't he a tackle? Kind of. He's listed as an edge defender. You could list him as a tackle if you wanted. I mean, he's a defensive lineman. He's basically a defensive lineman, so you don't have to list him here. He was listed here, so I just went with it. All right, Khalil Davis. This is a guy's projected to go in the 6th round, but his motor is off of the charts. This guy plays so hard, and I feel like, this is kind of one of those guys that you look for, right? I always say look for one thing in the draft that you really, really like with these late round picks, and he has that crazy energy. He's just going, and I'm like, okay, wow, this is what I like to see. Again, another Big Ten player. Shout out to the Big Ten, putting out some good talent here. Nebraska, he's not great at anything specifically. He definitely has, some concerns, but he has tons of versatility, which I think is a very, very big thing with Matt Patricia. He can play every single spot on the defensive line, tackle, edge, so I think you can move him around, which is great. He was rated a 66.3 in pass rush, which isn't great, which is pretty much at the average. He was graded a 78.1 against the run, which is above, 77.8 in third down, so he can get some more pressure, a little bit of pressure there. He can stop the run. He just does, he's pretty good at everything. I would say he's solid at everything, but the energy is off the charts to me, and that's why I kind of like to look for it here at the late round picks. So there's your sleeper, and those are your top 4 and a sleeper edge defenders for this draft. There's definitely other players you can include on here, but these are the ones I went with. Sorry for the late video. It took me a long time to do these, but I think it was worth it. And let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.